Look, I know some of y'all are surprised and expected an actual TV, and come to find out, looking at this box, you're confused. But don't worry, this is the Apple TV. This isn't no April Fool's joke, this is the real deal. Similar to the Mac Mini, Apple's really good at disguising computers or TV streamers into an elegant and compact size. Now hold up, you're saying the Apple TV really isn't a TV, it's more of a streaming box? Yes sir, that's exactly what it is. A very expensive streaming box at that. Let's dissect this one real good because a lot of people ask me so many questions about this mysterious Apple TV. Let's go.
It's the kind of beat to go.
You already know how this goes. You already know we came for the Apple TV unboxing. So if this is your first time on my channel, I want to welcome you. Everyone here is welcome. Drop down your constructive comments down in the section on what you think about the Apple TV. So let's dive into this quick unboxing. So it seems like we only have like 2 knives here at our house. So I did get the trusty switchblade. So yeah. Anyway, let's take a tour of the box. So we do have our Apple TV here on the top. Apple TV 4K on the side. Nothing on this side, nothing on this side, Apple TV on the top, and then of course this is the 4K HDR version. Comes with these applications, or I'm not sure if they're pre-installed, but basically just advertising them. 32 gigs, and it tells you what comes in the box. It does require an actual TV, and yada yada. So let's dive in. Yeah, that was too suspenseful. Even myself, I was about to drop a bead of sweat. Anyway, so excellent presentation. Like, I just love how Apple just presents everything. I don't know what to grab first, the TV or the remote. Let's go with the remote. Let's go with the remote. All right, so this is going to be the Siri remote, the infamous Siri remote that most people hate. I'm not a big fan of it either, but let's pull the plastic and let's take a tour of it. All right, so we're going to have this glossy plastic here and then also the glass matte trackpad. And so that's one of the complaints on the Apple remote, is that it is all glass. So even if you were to drop it from, say, waist height, it probably might break. This is the menu button with a white ring, so it helps you, at night if you accidentally pick it the wrong way, you can kind of just, So the menu button is basically your home button or your back button. Hold this to turn off your device. The Siri command, so hold this, and then we have a microphone there and on the back here, so you can talk to your Siri remote. Play, pause, up and down, and there's not much to it. On the back we do have an aluminum construction with the Apple logo right in the center. Again, we have that microphone, and here is going to be the little window so that it can pick up the Bluetooth antenna or whatever, so that the receiver can get it. Moving right along, so we do have our power cable, and really important to note is that we do not get an HDMI cable, so you must supply your own HDMI cable, a high-speed HDMI cable, to take advantage of the 4K capabilities. So if you do pick up an Apple TV, keep that in mind. Next, we do have the Apple TV, but we're going to set that off just to the side, see what is inside. So we do have our documentation. And since a lot of people aren't used to Apple TVs, this is one of the few packets that I would actually recommend reading. It does have some useful stuff in there that teaches you how to use your Apple TV. And we are also going to have a lightning cable, because the way that you charge remote is through that lightning port right there. Now, normally I get like 3 or 4 months worth of charge on the Siri remote. It's really good with the battery, so you'll rarely charge it, maybe 3 or 4 times a year, unless you're a really heavy user or you're playing games on it. All right, so let's get to the star of the show, the Apple TV. And so, yep, this little streaming box is probably as big as my hand. So much power in this small compact size. It's crazy just how much power is packed into this little box. So let's go ahead and unbox it. We do have the Energy Star logo there, basically telling you that it's not going to consume a ton of electricity. There we go. Around the edges, we're going to have some tape, which we can very easily just pull off. And I just got back from the gym, so I'm probably going to have all my fingerprints on it. But yeah, we are going to have the Apple TV logo right here. This is a matte finish, very glossy text right there. On the side, we are also going to have all that glossy plastic, and it is raised slightly. On the bottom, we have the Apple logo and an exhaust fan in case it were to overheat or you're just using games extensively on it. Although I've never, ever heard my Apple TV's fan crank up. And so on the back, looking at our I/O, this is the power port in order to put your power cable, HDMI, and gigabit Ethernet if you prefer a wired connection. So a small difference from last generation, just a regular Apple TV, is that it used to have a USB-C port right there for service and maintenance, and so they took that off. But there you have it. That's the Apple TV 4K.
So let's get the price out of the way first. It's one of my biggest complaints I have against the Apple TV. The streaming box will set you back $179 for the 32 gig version, and if you absolutely need the extra space, if you buy a lot of movies or video games, the 64 gig version is $2 Benjamins. Apple does sell the non-4K Apple TV that maxes out at 1080p, and that one is $149, which for the extra $30 you might as well get the 4K one, which brings me to my next point. Do not make this mistake. The Apple TV will not convert your old 1995 Panasonic TV into a 4K resolution. You must already have a 4K TV to take advantage, and if your TV has HDR, it's even better. So if you have a 1080p display and get the Apple TV 4K, you really just paid that money for nothing. Well, not really. More than likely, your next TV set is going to be a 4K TV, so I guess it's kind of bulletproof in that regard. But in order to take advantage of this, you do have to have a 4K TV. And so wait, what is HDR anyway? I asked myself this when I first got my Apple TV. HDR stands for High Dynamic Range, which is a newer technology than Standard Dynamic Range. Basically, HDR makes your pixels better. It has a much wider array of colors and displays your pixels much more vividly. Take a look for yourself. Here are a few examples of Standard Dynamic Range and High Dynamic Range. Now, some of you also may be asking what 4K is. Well, you came to the right channel. 4K is also known as UHD or Ultra High Definition. Remember several years ago, everyone was crazy about high definition TVs? Yeah, those were 1080p TVs, which 1080p consists of 1920 by 1080 pixels, whereas 4K resolution is 3840 by 2160 pixels, which a lot of you are probably wondering what all this means. Basically, 4K monitors and TVs have 4 times as many pixels as 1080p displays. Honestly though, unless you have a 55-inch TV or bigger, you won't really be able to notice much of a difference at a normal viewing distance. There's always this debate as to how many pixels our eyes can see at a regular viewing difference, and why 5K or 8K or 20K or 5000K displays won't matter, since our eyes won't be able to tell much of a difference while we are sitting on our couch swiping on Tinder anyway. But that's another video for another day. Getting back to the Apple TV. Now that you know what it does, let's take a closer look at the specifications, shall we? The Apple TV is a really neat little box. I mean, look at it. Doesn't it look so cute? It fits in the size of your palm, yet packs more power than you probably do at the squat rack. It has a glossy plastic that runs around the edge of the device with a matte finish on top and the Apple logo and the letters TV on the top, also in that shiny glossy plastic. Around the back, we will notice that we have our HDMI port, which is not included in the box, which I think is idiotic on Apple's part to not include it on a $200 streaming box. We also have our power port and gigabit Ethernet for wired connectivity. Notice also that the Apple TV is raised slightly. This is in case the streaming box gets too hot, the fans can kick up and cool it down. But from my experience, I have never heard this thing spin up. That's probably because we have the A10X Fusion chip with 64-bit architecture. That's insane, honestly. That chipset was debuted on the 10.5-inch iPad Pro when it first came out. So to have that much power in such a small device is truly remarkable. It is HDR10 and now Dolby Atmos compatible, the latter only being available up until recently. If you have that Dolby Atmos setup, I envy you. Like, Dolby Atmos is literally a movie theater in your home with the crystal clear and crisp 360-degree immersive sound. Look, let's face it, there's just so much the Apple TV can do that if I wanted to cover everything, it'd be an hour-long video. So let me just highlight the most useful features to me and elaborate on them. But just keep in mind that the Apple TV can do so much more. Believe me, there's going to be a lot of things I'm going to miss. These are just some of the features I like. Number 1, the Siri remote. The Siri remote. I'm trying to figure out why I always lose you. Like, the Siri remote remote hands down is cool, but also pretty useless. Look, the trackpad takes up about the top third of the remote and is overly sensitive, even on the lowest setting. Why can't we have actual buttons to scroll better? You know how hard it is flipping through the menus? Like, it's so hard. Not to mention, it's a glass remote, so I'm sorry if you have wooden floors or anything other than carpet. All I have to say is good luck. Reports and testimonies have shown that dropping the remote from 2 centimeters off the ground shatters it completely and it blows up, so just be careful. Okay, maybe not blows up, but you get the point. The remote is small. It's hard to use at night because sometimes you have it upside down. The new white ring around the remote kind of helps, but not really. Apple, fix this. Your reviews for your Siri remote are horrible. I guess one good thing is using the microphone to have Siri help you. So on applications that support it like Netflix, you can say stuff like, "What did he or she say?" and it'll rewind about 10 seconds with captions, or "What should I watch?" to get some recommendations, or simply rewind 3 minutes. All you have to do is press and hold the microphone button on the remote and Siri will do all the work for you. She's kind of dumb at times and won't understand your commands, but it's all good. Number 2, pairing with AirPods for private listening. I don't know what y'all dudes be watching at 1 a.m., but if you stay on YouTube late at night or stay airplaying your Safari browser to your Apple TV and happen to accidentally stumble across certain websites, then this feature is perfect for you. If you have AirPods, you can connect them to your Apple TV without waking up a soul. All your TV sounds content will be transmitted to your AirPods, and I think that's super cool, no lie. Number 3, and this is a juicy one, replace your cable box. Now hold up, before you get carried away and tell your mom that the one and only went out and told you to get rid of your cable box, just chill out for a second and listen up. There are several streaming platforms that can stream live TV over Wi-Fi like DirecTV Now, YouTube TV, or Sling TV. So what me and my family did was ditch Dish Network because we were getting finessed, paying like $60 a month for satellite and only really watched like 4 or 5 channels and realized we were getting played. And if you know anything about me, I hate getting played, especially when I play myself. So don't play yourself. So what we decided to do was get DirecTV Now and got a package of channels that we knew we were going to watch, and we pay like 35 or 40 bucks a month now. So $20 a month savings is amazing. You know what I could do with $20? That's 4 spicy deluxe meals at Chick-fil-A, fam. $20 gets you 4 for 4 meals. $20 gets you 4 Little Caesars pizzas. You feel me? So I definitely feel my Apple TV is useful in that regard, but keep in mind, if you have shitty Wi-Fi or don't like the fact that your live TV is being streamed, then this may not be for you, or you may be extremely content with this network and prefer satellite or cable, or you might just be trapped under a contract with Xfinity, in which case, sorry bro. Number 4, play games on it. This is a huge area of improvement for Apple. Apple could take a slice of the gaming market here, no lie. Now this ain't no PS4, the Apple TV ain't no Xbox One. You can play games on it, but the Siri remote just kind of kills the vibe. Now of course, Apple does sell Bluetooth controllers on their website, so if you want to go that route, go ahead. Like, imagine playing Call of Duty Black Ops 4 with a Wii remote. It's not happening. The selection of games on the App Store for the Apple TV are okay, nothing spectacular, definitely no AAA titles, but I mean you can game on it, and I feel Apple can improve so much here. Maybe strike some kind of deal with Nintendo or other developers like Bethesda. Man, I might be dreaming too hard, but I feel Apple could capitalize on the video game market if they really try to emphasize gaming on the Apple TV as well. Maybe it's too much to ask for though. Number 5, mirroring your iOS device on your TV. This is a big one for me, and it's a feature I love. Sometimes you got the boys chilling in your room and they want to see you getting clapped on Fortnite or Clash Royale on the big screen. Or maybe you want to read an interesting article together with your mom. You just stream it over onto your TV. Point is, if you want whatever's on your iOS device magnified onto the big screen, you can do it. It's perfect for presenting something, throwing hands on Clash Royale. It's crazy simple, it just works. Number 6, the operating system is amazing. Now upstairs, my family has a Roku. Now don't get me wrong, no hate on Roku, but the Roku operating system is atrocious. The user experience on it is horrible. It's so cluttered, it's so confusing, it's hard to use. My mom took about 5 months to finally figure it out. And the Apple TV UI is just so user friendly. I mean, you have these big squares. Yeah, you fiddle a little bit with the Siri remote, but the UI is actually very user friendly. It's very easy to use and it's just really simple. I love the layout of it, and Apple just does that with their operating systems. iOS, macOS, watchOS, and tvOS is no exception. And finally, number 7. iTunes library being cheap for 4K HDR titles, and automatic free upgrades from previously purchased standard HD titles. So as of right now, if you were to go to say Amazon or really any other streaming site, they'll probably sell you 4K HDR content from anywhere from $20 to $30. Apple actually will sell you most of its content for roughly about $10 is average from what I see. Now, normally I don't purchase iTunes downloads. I actually prefer to stream everything through Netflix or I don't know, maybe YouTube. But if you're into buying and downloading movies, then this is perfect for you. If you already previously purchased a title and if it has the capability for 4K or HDR, then you'll get that free upgrade, which I think Apple is finally doing something right for us. They're really doing us a solid. Now, of course, the title that you're looking for has to be 4K HDR enabled. So on most applications, it'll let you know, like Netflix or iTunes. And there's just some titles that aren't 4K HDR, which sucks, but there's more titles being added on the daily, so no worries. Well, guys, that's been my small review, if you want to call it that, for the Apple TV. The Apple TV is just that one device that you use almost every day and you just kind of forget, like you don't appreciate it. I think the Apple TV is wonderful. For what I paid, I think it's definitely got its worth. Now, you may differ. See, for me, it's been saving me a lot of money by replacing my cable box. So in that regard, it was a solid investment for me. But if you don't plan to replace your cable box, then it could be a different story. $200 is a lot of money. I get it. There's other competitors who will charge you $30, $40, $50 for a streaming stick that does the exact same thing that the Apple TV does. If you don't want to pay that premium price, I say definitely go with something else. My family loves the Roku. It's a little streaming stick that we placed on the back of the HDMI port, and it works flawlessly. Although for my personal preference, I don't really like the user interface. But hey, you might be different. And guys, I honestly hope that this video was helpful. A lot of people don't understand what the Apple TV is or what it does, so I hope this kind of cleared the air a little bit. Don't forget to add me on social media. Definitely subscribe to the channel. There's always giveaways. I always host polls on my social media, and I just cannot wait to keep delivering this content for you guys. And with that being said, I really hope everyone is enjoying their new year, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.